Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Arif Fawaz bin Jamil, and today I would like to present to you my case study on topic food security in Malaysia. So, for introduction, agricultural economics is an economic theory concern that apply in the agricultural to optimize the production and the distribution of food and supply. If you guys heard about food crisis or food security, okay, actually, food crisis can be categorized as a global crisis because it affects over 122 million people all around the world. So this issue has to be taken seriously and immediately. Generally, food insecurity can be defined as a lack of ecosystem to access enough food for continuity of healthy life. In other words, there are millions of people all around the world have a shortage to get enough food, and we cannot tell if they can feed themselves the next day or at the end of the day. So this is basically a basic definition of what actually food crisis or food security. Food security can be considered a basic and omnipresent feature of any society. Any given society is driven by the effort of its individual, and therefore food security is an absolute necessity for society sustenance. However, the practice of food security is also driven by the economic order a society tends to follow. Next, we go to the issue that is the price of agricultural production increased rapidly. There are four main factors. First is war. The disruption caused by the war in Ukraine has added to price pressures, with costs likely to remain high for the foreseeable future and expected to push millions of additional people into acute food insecurity. Manager for Agriculture and Food Global Practice, World Bank Group, Julian Lampetti said, the war in Ukraine just accelerated what was already happening. We have this food system that feeds us and it's wonderful, but it's also destroying the planet as it does that. Next is economic sanction. The attack on Ukraine and the sanction imposed by the West on Russia to some extent affected some important ingredients in the market, while domestic food prices were largely factor affecting the increase in food prices due to seasonal effects and lack of workers. To hit back what the Western country did to them, Russia also banned all kind of export out of their country. As we know, Russia is the country that contributes more than 40% of world plants nutrient. Russia is the world's largest fertilizer producer. When the world lacks fertilizer for crops, the price of fertilizer rises sharply, and it's also causing the price of food to rise as well. Third is increase of world population. This situation occurs due to the increase in the number of the world's population every year, at the same time requiring more food sources to continue life. It is estimated that the world's population will increase up to 10 billion people by the year 2050. This increase is said to be urgent to the sudden need for food and cannot be accommodated by the world's food production level due to the lack of existing resources such as farmland and so on. For example, in India and China, the increase in the middle class population in those countries was 9.7% and 8.6% respectively in 1990. But the respective growth rate have increased to reach 30% and 70% in 2008. And the fourth is dependence on import. The Federal Agricultural Marketing Authority, FOMA, said in 2014 Malaysia food import amount to RM 42.6 billion, a sharp increase of 12.4 billion ringgit compared to 4 years earlier, which only recorded a bill of RM 30.2 billion. We are too dependent on import for other necessities. That is why the prices for some items are quite expensive. For conclusion, the increase in the world's population every year has put pressure on the demand of various types of basic needs. However, as a result of limited resources and unlimited human needs, not all basic needs can be met if not properly managed. I also think that food is one of the basic requirements that needs to be paid attention to in order to ensure the economic and social development process of a country so that it remains progressive and competitive. Therefore, Malaysia needs to be more serious in stating that the country food system needs to be strengthened so that it is more resilient and more sustainable. This includes various efforts in improving the performance of the network in all activities related to invoice, production, processing, distribution, preparation, and it includes food safety and the availability of nutrition. And thank you. So, this is my reference that I quote. First is vedantu.com, second thestar.com, and third is worldbank.org, and four theguardian.com, and fifth theguardian.com also. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.